What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Salford City Career Mode in FIFA 20. And right before we start, I want to apologize for the fact that this video is coming out so late. I've been having a hard time finding any time to do commentary and actually record as well. So it's been kind of a rough time right now due to my work schedule and stuff like that. Some other issues that are coming up, family health-wise and stuff like that. So it's been a little bit difficult trying to find time to do everything, but I am trying my best, guys. So I do apologize, and I do want to say that I think going forward, what I might do is I might change the way the series works, because it's going to be so long. It's going to be at least 3 seasons before we're even in the Premier League. What I might do is I might start if we can build up a good lead, then maybe start to just skip a lot of matches that I show as we go 1-0 against Newport immediately. If we can build up a decent lead, like 6-7 points, maybe I'll start just showing you guys some of the results and only show you some of the matches against the top 8, maybe top 10, just to kind of make things go by a little bit quicker and get us to the Premier League, because I want to have this done before FIFA 21 comes out, which is in October, I think it is. So, or end of September, early October, one or the other. So we have a few months left, and I want to get as much of this stuff done as possible. So maybe that's what we're going to do as we get to some of the bigger leagues. So that's probably going to be something you'll be seeing in the near future, and it's also a way to kind of make things go by a little bit easier for me as well. So hopefully you are excited about that, and I know with this team, the potential it has is definitely, I think we're definitely going to get to the Premier League. It's just a matter of, can we get through it like moving up once per season as the defensive mistakes just continue, not just for us, but for the opponents as well. They almost make it 1-1 here. It was a pretty good chance, but to be fair, that was a difficult shot for, even like Aguero or Cristiano Ronaldo, players of that level to take, let alone somebody in League 2. So I was never expecting him to score that, but it was still a good effort, and have to respect the tenacity of this Newport player for going after a goal with a shot like that. Definitely risking his reputation. A good chance of him looking like an idiot, as of course he did. And of course that's always something that you have to worry about when you take chances like that. We're going to go ahead and make a few changes. Now, I think probably the biggest difference between us and everybody else in this league is the fact that we do have a good bench. Like, there's going to be a few teams in this league where they're going to have some talented players on loan. They're going to have 1 or 2 players that will eventually be in the Premier League. But for the most part, they're going to have a bunch of bums. And we have a lot of good players on our starting lineup, as well as some players on our bench. And of course, it's Nketiah. And I do want to actually say real fast, I finally figured out how to pronounce this guy's name because I was watching a Hugh Wizzy video, and of course the other day he scored, I think it was either a goal or 2 goals, and obviously he's been on a lot of people's tongues for a while now because he's been starting over Lacazette. So, and of course Aubameyang's been playing on the wing when he should definitely be playing as a striker. So this guy has definitely been making a lot of noise. He's been making waves, and his name is actually Eddie Nketiah. So that's kind of what I thought. I was divided between that and Nketiah. I just wasn't 100% sure, but now I know it's Nketiah, or at least that's how Hugh Wizzy pronounces it. So I'm gonna go ahead and trust him, being an Arsenal fan. Not even one of the dumbass Arsenal fans. Like there's 2 tiers of Arsenal fans. There's extreme dumbasses like the guys from Arsenal Fan TV, and then there's Hugh Wizzy, who is still kind of a bit of a dum-dum, but he's I respect him a hell of a lot more than any of those guys. That's why I'm actually subscribed to him. So that means a lot for me, at least. It probably means absolutely nothing to anybody else, but to me, it does mean something. Now, we're going to go to something that I do want to try to do well in, which is the FA Cup. Now, this is a good opportunity because Scunthorpe is not a good team. It's a team we can definitely beat, and we, after 11 minutes, have an opportunity with Ferreira. Unfortunately, his shooting definitely needs a lot of work on. He's still one of our best players, but his shooting and his finishing in general needs to improve a lot if we're going to have him be one of our main players as we move up to the divisions. And Nketiah, with a header, actually got past the keeper, but wasn't able to do too much with another good shot there by Nketiah, who's having a hell of a season for us. I'm really glad we signed him because Wilson is a good player, but Nketiah, he's on a different level. He's a guy who could really, really be our main guy moving forward. And this time, Ferreira does not miss, and he makes it 1-0 in the 53rd minute. And we have a solid, let's say 35 minutes left. Let's say more like 38 minutes with stoppage time to try to just keep this lead and move on. And I don't expect to win the FA Cup because it's kind of foolish to expect that, as we almost make it 2-0. No, actually, we do make it 2-0 with a good little goal from, I think it's, who is that, Turnbull? No, it's Marin. All right, this guy's actually been turning it up a little bit. First few performances for him and our other winger weren't the best, but Marin's actually been playing some pretty good football right now. He's very quick. And you look at that. It's a good ball in, too. He got lucky because the ball bounced right to his feet, which happens only in FIFA. That doesn't really happen in real life, but luckily in FIFA it happens a lot, especially against us. But sometimes it happens in our favor, and we always accept it. As Sir Torturetto is happy as hell because he knows his team is going to the next round. And this is like I said, I don't expect to win the FA Cup because it'd be very stupid to believe we can beat Man City, Liverpool, United, Chelsea, all those teams. Plus, like, it's going to be hard enough to beat a championship team, let alone a Premier League team of the highest caliber. So I don't expect to win the FA Cup, but I will say if we can get to, I don't know, if we can get past 3 rounds, 2-3 rounds, that would definitely be a really solid performance, a really solid result, and definitely some money would come in there, which is always helpful. As Nketiah, with his head, is able to make it 3-0. This guy is just scoring in every way possible. There's headers, left foot, right foot, with pace. He's got good build-up play. He's just an excellent player all around, and I'm extremely happy we signed this guy. Like I said, man, I think he's going to be, if we can sign him, because we have him 2 years on loan from Arsenal, if we can get ourselves in the championship, maybe have it to where he's attached to the club, maybe he's like, he's looking for a move, maybe Arsenal aren't going to guarantee him starting time. That could be huge for us. If we can get him on a permanent deal, I firmly believe we can get eventually to the Champions League spots. That's the kind of level player, the level of this player. That's what I believe he can actually take us to. Question is, can we build up with the rest of the players? Because a lot of these guys, I think their peak is predicted around 84, 85. So some of them can go really high, because 85 is still really, really good. But, like some of them are a little bit lower, especially like our goalkeeper, Zidane. He needs to be changed. But I feel like the potential is definitely there. And if we just trust these players and trust the team in general, I do think we have all the tools to get towards the top. Now I have to go against Ipswich, another minnow team, so a small team that we don't have to worry too much about. And for the sake of resting players, we are going to go ahead and turn over a lot of our starting players, let them rest a little bit, and try to go with a sub team, especially because it's the leasing.com trophy. So it's not like it's a major cup we're trying to win. Of course, every trophy we win, as we take a 1-0 lead after 14 minutes at home, of course, like I was saying, every trophy is important. Every trophy we want to win. But there's some that have a priority, and this is definitely not one of my priorities. I would rather do decently well in the FA Cup than necessarily win this. Like I do believe we have what it takes to win this cup regardless. But like I said, that's not my number 1 priority. My number 1 priority is getting promotion. Then number 2 is trying to do well in the FA Cup. That's pretty much all that matters to me. Like, imagine if we win the FA Cup and next year we're in the Europa League. I don't know if it works that way. Because, of course, that's how it. If you win the FA Cup, you do go to the Europa League. But I'm not sure if that counts for League 2 teams. Because I don't think financially that would necessarily be possible for them. But it would be pretty fucking funny, I have to admit. Torturetto leading his team to the Europa League as we go 2-0 up over Ipswich. That's a decent header there from, I think it's Towel. And like I was saying, man, like, that's the big difference between us and everybody else, is that on our bench, we have quality players. Like Andrade, he's not going to grow much over what he's at right now. I think he's 69 overall or something. He's not going to get much higher. I think he peaks at around 70 or something. But he's still a decent player for this league, and we have him on the bench. Same thing with Wilson. He's going to go up to around 75. But for this level, he's fucking good. So we have a lot of these players. As Tao gets his second goal, his personal brace, and we go 3-0 up with over 30 minutes left. So who knows? We can go for more. We could take out a lot of these players. Well, but there's really no point in taking them out because they're not starters. So give them plenty of time. See if maybe we can go ahead and hit a 4 or 5. I mean, Wilson with a good chance. His left foot is pretty solid. Not able to get past the goalkeeper though. Garner, who's just been phenomenal for us off the bench, hits a hell of a strike. Not able to actually put the goalkeeper under any kind of difficulty, but the chance was at least, the opportunity presented itself, and it's good to see these guys taking their opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this was real life, obviously people would be kind of giving them shit maybe, but I just feel like, it's kind of, because it's FIFA and we're throwing it up, it is fair enough to do this type of stuff. Elliott, who hasn't been getting a lot of time, and he's probably going to be one of those guys who wants to leave come January or the end of the season because he just isn't getting the ton of time he wants. That was just completely bizarre. That whole that back pass and stuff like that. I don't know. It was just kind of weird. Elliott, though, opportunity to make it 4, and he does. This is a guy that, it's kind of a hard situation to be in because obviously our starters are light years better than everybody else on our team, at least from a potential point of view. But Elliott and Wilson are both good players. They both have scored some goals for us, and it's not easy to fit everybody in there. It's kind of like you have to just decide based on on the future. Like Garner is definitely one of our best players, but I can't necessarily put him as a starter because I know once he's gone, he's not going to come back. I don't believe he's going to come back. I think Nketiah, if we play our cards right, then there's a small chance. But Garner, I definitely don't think is going to be a player that we can keep in the long run. So I'd rather play Turnbull. I'd rather play, who else do we have? I'm starting to have a blank. Ferreira and Turnbull, Ferreira. I can't remember who the other player we have in midfield is right now. I'd rather play those guys because they are, they're joined us on a permanent deal. So it makes more sense for us to... Oh, sorry, Louis Ferguson. It's definitely better to have those guys playing week in, week out than having a guy who's on loan just because... Like I said, man, these are guys that could potentially carry us all the way to the Premier League, and they're guys that we need to build up as much as possible. And some guys that are on loan aren't quite at that, don't quite have that kind of a priority. And Nketiah is a different story because he's already a phenomenal player, and we can definitely use him in the long run. We get $55,000 for knocking out Ipswich, so that's not bad. That's definitely not bad. We'll take any kind of money we can get because it's all going to come useful as we start moving up. Now we have to take on Swindon. This is a match we need to win. If we can win this, I think we're going to have a decent lead over second because I do think that Bradford are having some difficult matches as of late. And Nketiah, inside the box, he does not miss. Oh, he does miss this time. Hits the post, though. So a bit unlucky this time. And Nketiah turns very well. With his left foot, he tries with a finesse shot. But McCormick is in the right spot at the right time. And he's able to make the save. As Hill is trying to stop Isgrove, and an opportunity there for Swindon, who, give them credit, they've been trying. And here they come again. That's a decent shot from outside the box. It was a nice, had a nice little curve to it, but not quite enough. It's 0-0. Need to make some subs. Need to try to get this W, because if we lose this or we don't get the 3 points, that will be frustrating. Because I do feel like this is a good opportunity for us to build up a lead. With about 18 minutes left, opportunity here potentially for Swindon who take a decent shot, but it was right at Zidane, who obviously didn't have to do too much. He hasn't been great this season, but he's also not been too horrible. He's made some mistakes, but overall I feel like as time goes on he's probably going to get better, and as will the entire defense, which is going to be important for him. But it finishes 0-0. Disappointing result. Performance was okay. I'm not going to say it was one of our better ones. I was definitely expecting more because everybody was fresh. But it happens. Sometimes you have these matches where things just don't click. And you're not able to get past the team that was defensively was very solid. I mean, I will say that. Like, tactically, they played well. And that's you have to give them credit where credit is due. But we do have at least a 4-point lead over Bradford. So, starting to build it up. Hopefully in the next video we will go 3 or 4 points ahead. And that'll maybe give us an opportunity to kind of skip forward a little bit and try to wrap this up. We've played 18 matches. There's I think 24 teams in the league, so there's a lot left to be played, and that's why it's kind of difficult. When it comes to the top goal scorers, we have Palmer from Crawley. Disappointing not to see one of our guys there, but it makes sense because Wilson was getting a lot of goals early, and now Nketiah is starting to build up, so it's going to take a little bit of time to have those guys up there. But I do believe that one of the two will be the top goal scorer in the league come the end of the season. Middleton's been having a great season. Oh, of course, it's a lot of Bradford because they have been playing well. Zidane has 5 clean sheets in 18 matches, which is pretty poor, but most of those I would say aren't his fault. It's just defensive mistakes. But that's it for this video, guys. As I said, I'm really sorry that it took me this long to release it, but I'm trying, and I have a schedule now. I'm going to be trying to follow it as well as possible. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the team, what you think of how things are going with this season. And I will see you in the next video, guys. Thanks so much for watching.